Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you a pom-pom crafting video and also a mini sort of home tour of my pom-pom decor because, as you will come to learn, I love pom-poms and seasonally decorating with pom-poms in many different ways. This video in particular, however, is going to be a craft to start with. So I saw in Next they have these like square cream cushions, and they've got it's all textured across the front, and also they've got pom poms dotted across, and oh, they're so beautiful. However, sort of just purchasing a fair few of these to pop around my house and even potentially upstairs in my bedroom, I thought maybe I'd just save a little bit of money and try and upscale. Upscale, is that the right word? Upscale? Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Remake maybe a cushion that I already have to this pom-pom style that I've seen that I'm really quite fond of. So obviously I've not made this cushion. This is just one that's the filling has seen better days, to be honest. It's a bit misshapen, but it's well loved and it's very, very comfy to sit against or next to on the couch. I have two young sons, so they throw themselves against the cushions and use them as making dens and all sorts. So yeah, it's seen better days. The filling, we do really need to get some new ones, but there you have it. Anyhow, the cushion cover itself is from, where did we get it? From B&M. So yeah, relatively inexpensive, and I think they still have this range of this texture but in various colours. Now it looks a little bit turquoise in this light, but if you look closer, there's a little pull, but never mind because we can cover that with a pom-pom. It's kind of a denim sort of blue with like cream running through it, which we have blue, one like a feature blue wall in the living area with where the wood burner is and the TV, and then all the other walls are cream, so this works really well. Now for the pom-poms, you could just go quite traditional and pop them on the corners, but I want to make them right across like the ones I saw Next. And I've chosen this colour wool. Now obviously it's various different colours and it kind of like an ombre effect, the way it goes into different shades of like cream and turquoisey blue, and then lighter blues of denim, sort of deeper blue. This wool, obviously, this is a tiny portion that I've got left of it because I have used it, as I'll show you in a moment, for other things throughout the house. Was, how much is it? It's 99p from Home Bargains. And I think, let me just see, I think it was about the same size as like this sage green one. It's just really, really cost effective, to be honest, especially when you consider 99p, and if you make tiny pom-poms, you could easily fill your cushion if you wanted to. So there you are, you've got a lovely pom-pom cushion for a fraction of the cost of the one that I've seen in Next. So this piece of hair is really annoying me. Let's chuck it under that. Right, so I know some people are super clever and have made pom-poms out of like forks and wrapped the wool around the fork, or they've cut a little piece of card and used that, or wrapped it around the book, but I have never mastered any of those methods. I rely upon these little pom-pom makers. No, I've got them in various sizes, quite a few. There's it's all mixed up, a teeny tiny one as well. What has gone on here? Sorry. This little tiny one. Now I got these and a whole bunch more in online and on Amazon quite some time ago now, but I have seen that you can get them most recently in like the Pound Shop and Home Bargains. So you can pick them up anywhere really, but yeah. So obviously the bigger the circle on the pom-pom maker, the bigger the pom-pom. Obviously this one will make a relatively small one. It goes without saying really. So you simply open up the pom-pom maker half at a time, keep them firmly together, and then just begin by wrapping you all around the semicircle, like all the way along here. It's quite straightforward. It's something you can just do so quickly. Watching the television, while the kettle boils for a coffee. Yeah, just in the car, anywhere really. Yeah. So I did hope to have this video up a little bit earlier than I have done. However, it was the start of the school summer holidays, and then it was my son's birthday, and then pretty much a few days after that he was poorly, and so was my youngest son. So yeah, it's just been really busy. So here we are. So yeah, look, you can just kind of see the semicircle filling up there, and obviously this wool is quite thin, so it does take a little bit longer, but it soon builds up. And obviously if you use thicker wool, you can make sort of like a fuller pom-pom, and the semicircle does fill up a lot quicker, but you get the gist. So yeah, as you'll see at the end of the video, I've got quite a few pom-poms dotted around the house, in bunting, in like floral arrangements, and not only as decor pieces but also for other uses, which you'll see. And this will also lead nicely onto my next video with all things autumnal coming up, because I just love autumn time. I think autumn time is my favourite, to be honest. Right, so you can see I've wrapped it around the semicircle and it's pretty full. Now, I mean, you could carry on, but we'll just stop there for the purpose of this. And then you have to pop the wool between the groove here, between these two. Then close it, bring it around, and open it up the other side, and hold it here firmly to keep this in place. And then continue wrapping it around the other side. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is as well is such an effective way of changing your decor. You know, like if you see all these new like styles and home decor pieces popping up, sometimes things can be so expensive. Like what did we see? A felted blanket at Christmas time last year, and that had pom-poms on. And it was beautiful, but expensive really for what it was. But you could easily do something like this yourself. Don't you see how quick it is? And equally, in equal measure, therapeutic. Because just wrapping the wool around and seeing how quickly your craft takes place, it's quite enjoyable. As well, if I don't know, if you perhaps maybe if you suffer from anxiety or something, I would consider this quite a mindful activity, because it's repetitive. You don't really have to think so much. You can just let your mind, stop overthinking or worrying or whatever it is you're doing whilst you're making beautiful pom-poms. Right, so it's nearly filling up. Almost there. Right, just do a few more rounds. Right. Then close it again. Trim off this excess here. Right now, this is the part you need to keep a tight hold of the bits that you've closed over. So holding where the two grooves are with one thumb, in between the hinge groove, take your scissors. I would recommend fabric scissors because they are sharp and wool can be tricky to cut with just normal everyday scissors, especially when it's wound so many times in this. So I think fabric scissors are the best to use. So simply cut all the way along the pom-pom maker, like so. You're basically just cutting in half all the pieces that you've just wound around, right? And then I cut up between the grooves as well, like this. So then you just turn it and carry on cutting all the way along. I think it just makes it a little bit easier, because then when you open it, you know that you've cut all the pieces in the centre. You'll see in a moment. It can be quite tough if there's lots of strands of wool. Right, there we go. Now, set your cut pom-pom aside, go back to your ball of wool and take a piece and trim it. And now you want to put this between the grooves and all the way along, all the way around, and pull it tight in between the centre and tie it into the little knot. This is important that it's actually in the centre. Sorry. Need something to lean on really so you can see better. Anyhow, just do it up here like this. And tie it in a knot again. Right, now this is the fun part. Right, so open the little grooves. You can do them together or one by one. Cut the knot a bit over there. And then along the other side as well. And pull it apart. Oh, excuse me. You can hear that noise. It is the summer holidays and it's actually probably one of the first nice evenings we've had in absolutely ages, so it's quite busy where I live. We live near the sea, so it's often busy with people coming out and about. Right, here we are. So you've taken it off the pom-pom maker, separated it, and now you just go about trimming the edges. So, excuse me. So I turn the pom-pom as I'm trimming because I find it easier to ensure it stays in some sort of circular shape. Otherwise, you're at risk of sort of like squaring it off if you just cut it straight, I find. So, turn as you cut. Obviously, you can go as slow, as fast as you want, and take your time. I've sewn them onto the cushion before and noticed that at one side is a circular as the other, and then got back and trimmed it. So, no, it's better to take your time with it. You don't want to take off too much. Right, so give it a little roll to puff it back up. And there is a pom-pom. Now, in my basket here, with pom-poms that I have made and adorned it with, I have already made a few. Two more. So, otherwise the entire video would have just been me making the pom-poms. Right, so choose some thread, which obviously is relatively similar colour to your cushion. Oh goodness, that was my pen. Which is relatively similar cushion to your cushion and obviously your pom-poms. And a needle. Right, now an organised person, or perhaps a perfectionist, or more of a perfectionist than I would say I am, would mark out on the cushion, unless of course it's just in the corners where they would want the pom-poms to go. So I've just double threaded my needle there. I'm just going to tie a knot in the end. Yeah, so a more organised person than myself would mark out on the cushion where the pom-poms would go. Unless of course they were just going into the corners, but I must admit I didn't do that for the first cushion. And I'm not going to do it now because I kind of like that it looks like it's a little bit homemade. I think it has a little bit more character. So anyway, it is probably a good idea to take your cushion out of the cushion cover to sew these on, but I'm just going to leave it in so I can hold it up and show you where I'm going to pop them. So here's the pom-pom. Pop my needle through. And I just find that pom-poms are so versatile. I mean, you could do this for all the seasons, all different colours. To really personalise it, you could take a look and just make it your own. Right, so I'm just sewing through the cushion cover and back and forth through the entire pom-pom. I kind of try and go through the same point in the pom-pom so that the little threads sort of stay in, because a few may pop out as you're sewing, but that's okay. And back and forth. We'll see, look, one will come out, so, but that's okay, you can just pull it out. You got the gist, and already this cushion looks so much cuter than it did. So you get the idea. There is one on it, but it's not this. Right, so, I mean, you could potentially like hot glue gun them on if you wanted to, but I've got little kids who are going to pull things. I don't want to have to keep reattaching them, so I think if they're sewn on quite firm, these ones are. So there's another I pop one there, and then one there. And I just think that looks really sweet. But don't worry, I'm not going to make the entire cushion now, because here is one I've made earlier. Look. I mean, I think I may have used 3 balls of wool to make this, but at 99p a ball of wool, I'd say that's good going. And obviously I already had the cushion and it is old, do need new fillers. It might be better if a little bit plumper, but I think it just looks so lovely. So yeah, so now I'm going to take you on like a mini little tour of some crafts that I've made around the house with pom-poms for a particular season event, just to show you, which will lead nicely into my next craft. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's not perfect by any means. And I have noticed that a few of the poms aren't perfectly aligned, like the spacing, but I mean, I think it's really effective and it looks really cute. And I mean, apart from the colour, it doesn't look far off the one that I've seen in Next, which I just adore. And I'm very tempted now to find some sort of like soft throw, like woolen or not felt, fleecy, and make pom-poms and pop them in the corners or all around the edges, just to match. So yeah, right, thank you for watching, and and I hope you enjoy the rest of my little tour. Hiya, so here we are in my kitchen. I'm sorry if the lighting's not great, it has started to go quite dark. So yeah, in this little vase here I've got some like fake eucalyptus and peonies and 3 pom-poms on skewers, which I think they're quite effective. I made these for the Queen's Jubilee back in June, and my boys had events on in school whereby they had to wear red, white and blue. We went to a Jubilee like barbecue party, and I don't need much of an excuse to decorate the house for a season or an event, so there you go. And I just think they're really effective, and whilst they were for the Jubilee, I honestly think like you could just switch out the blue and keep the red and the white for Christmas, or Valentine's, or you could put them on little cocktail sticks rather than the long skewers and pop them in like a cake, or like little vases, or little candle holders. I just think they're really, really lovely. Hello, so here we are in my living room. This is my bookcase from toy storage because it's the summer holidays, and the toys from my kids' bedrooms just seem to navigate down here all the time. It seems to be a growing pile. Anyway, moving on. Please ignore that mess. Either side of the bookcase, I don't know if you can see, I hung some jute string and attached little blue pom-poms out of the same wool that I used on the cushions, and I used them to hang up my son's birthday cards because we just run out of space. So I put lots of them up here with like tiny little pegs to hold them up, and it just looked really, really cute. Yeah, and my son was pretty impressed. And then moving down here, ignore the fire god. That I see in my vase with more eucalyptus, I have more poms and skewers. I guess you could have you could paint the skewers to disguise them a bit more in with your foliage, but I don't mind that you can see it so much. So there's those there, and moving over here, I have this white tree, which we purchased, when did we get this? At Easter time, for lots of Easter decor, and we've made some red and white pom-poms and daisies out of clay for the Queen's Jubilee as well. Yeah, this tree has remained here since Easter, and as the seasons have gone on, we have like alternated the decor on it. And I think like these pom-poms that I've made are hung up on little jute strings, and equally, whilst I made them for the Queen's Jubilee, you could switch out the blue ones and keep the red and white ones and pop them up on your Christmas tree, or on your child's Christmas tree, or hung on bunting. Yeah, I just think they're just really versatile. They're here now for the Jubilee, and I will be switching them out pretty soon for more like late summer, start of autumn ones. But yeah, I just think there's such a quick, easy way to decorate seasonally. And then in the hall, we've just got this little tiny vase, which I think originally did have a candle in it. But I've just kept it because I thought it was really lovely, and tied some jute string in it where I wanted, just for a bit more of effect. That's a fake flower in there, and three little Jubilee themed pom-poms, this time on cocktail sticks, just so that they'd fit in there. So here on the front door, I have another pom-pom craft. this was Jubilee inspired. This is a wreath I made. So I stuck on three little red, blue and white pom-poms, a jute red ribbon and like a cotton one behind it, and I've hung it up with red and white cotton striped ribbon. I actually do need to get a wreath hanger, but I just don't ever seem to get one. I just hang it over the door and pop like a little, what are the little hooks called? Like the ones that you can just stick on and easily remove, pop that on the back of the door and hope that it'll stay up. And the wreath is actually bound in lots and lots of jute string. And this pom-pom is a heart shape, and it's red, white and blue. And I will show you how to do one of those at a later date. But I will be changing this in my next video for a late summer autumnal craft.